We've got ones that can see. Welcome, everybody, to today's show. This is how I know that it's going to be very easy to get people to take the mark of the beast, specifically teenagers in today's world who go into quote-unquote adulthood and future children who are going to be sucked into this beast system because nobody's paying attention to what technology actually is. This is how I know it'll be very easy to take the mark of the beast, because we have this story out there, and I've often talked about the obsession, the addiction of the internet, of the phone, of technology, and how this is going to be an easy transition for these globalists to get people to take the mark. 3 teens allegedly tried to kill their own mother. Why? Because she turned off the Wi-Fi. No, mom didn't do something along the lines of maybe sleeping with one of the daughter's boyfriends or some other insane thing that still should never result in somebody killing their own mother or trying to. No, mom didn't even take away the keys to the car, which again would be another insane notion to go after your own mother. No. Just something as simple as turning off the Wi-Fi. I've often said how people will short circuit, how they will go haywire if the government shuts off the grid and they don't have access to the internet. And all it'll take is even a day or two with them shutting it off to say, hey, you know what? You could hook up with Starlink and these people will do as they're told. They will join the beast because they can't live without Wi-Fi. This isn't just an isolated story. This is the world that we're living in. People are addicted to their tech, and these stories get crazier by the day. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Listen for yourselves if you can't believe the insane world that we're living in now.
3 teenage girls are in custody tonight after police say they plan to kill their own mother. And they say that it's all because their mom turned off the Wi-Fi. It happened overnight on Barker's Crossing near Barker Cypress in northwest Harris County. That's where we find Fox 26's Jade Fleury on this disturbing story. Jade.
Well, fortunately, the Harris County Sheriff's Office says that the teen's mom was not seriously injured after her own daughters tried to stab her with knives. And we spoke with some nearby neighbors who tell us that disturbances happen frequently at the family home.
They're known for that in this neighborhood. There's always cops around that house.
A family dispute turned violent. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says a mother was assaulted by her own teenage daughters for turning off the Wi-Fi. Authorities allege the girls then plotted to kill her. The 3 teens, ages 14, 15, and 16 years old, accused of grabbing kitchen knives and chasing their mom throughout the house and into the street. A nearby neighbor says they were returning from the rodeo when they saw the family in the driveway. Moments later, the homeowner and her sister heard yelling.
When she got back from the gas station, she says that there was cops outside. They've always, been known as trouble in this neighborhood, and our neighbors tell us the same thing.
The mother was hit with a brick and the teen's grandmother knocked over while trying to intervene.
Teens, 14, 15, and 16, supposedly assaulting their mother because she turned off the Wi-Fi. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's so crazy. I mean, it just tells how much unstable that family is, and it's very sad for them.
So, as you heard, 3 teenage girls were arrested for allegedly coordinating a plan to kill their mother because she turned off the Wi-Fi. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said the incident occurred overnight on Sunday in a southwest Houston neighborhood. Deputies responded to the area and found a woman who had been assaulted by her 3 teenage daughters, ages 14, 15, and 16. The girls are accused of grabbing kitchen knives, chasing their mother throughout the house and into the street, and then trying to stab her. Gonzalez said the mother was also struck with a brick during the incident. The grandmother was knocked over during the incident, according to the police. The girl's grandmother was knocked over while attempting to protect the mother. The mother or grandmother were not seriously injured. The teenage girls were subsequently arrested by deputies and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He added that all 3 have been booked in the Harris County Jail. So, when you look at the comments and things under the video, the common thread and the common theme and the common repetition we're seeing is people saying this is what happens when you don't discipline your kids. And of course, there is truth to that. But nobody's paying attention to the underlying theme here of the addiction that is the internet. If you put the word fentanyl in there, these people would say, oh, we got to do something. We got to stop all this stuff from coming across the border, even though it's your own government who's distributing it. If they put something like alcohol in there, or they put something like pornography in there. How many true crimes do we hear where there's somebody who does something because they're addicted to a cam girl or something along those lines, or addicted to pornography, so they act out these fantasies in the real world, or these people who are addicted to drugs who do these things without even remembering doing them. There's never talk about this addiction to the internet. How 3 girls would go after their own mother. People would rather find another underlying theme and say, well, they're undisciplined. Well, maybe there's something else underneath all of it with their mom and them, that they don't really like their mom. It's pretty clear that the mom shut off the Wi-Fi and these kids lost their mind. Now think about when Big Brother does that to an entire country. Think about when your government shuts off a power grid, even if it's temporarily, which it likely will be, because they do want to keep control of people's minds. Now think about how important it'll be when they start telling you the things I've been discussing out in the open publicly, that the next smartphone is obsolete, that it's going to be a brain-computer interface like Neuralink, and that's the new phone. And then people go, I don't know if I want that. And they go, well, you have until January 1st, because on January 1st, 2030, we're going to shut off all phones. So whatever phone you have, you're not going to be on a network anymore. It's just going to be gone. Don't you think people are going to run to go and get this brain-computer interface inside their body, underneath their skin? Of course they are. That's exactly what I expect to occur. Just like this story, just like a mother turning off the Wi-Fi to discipline their children, the government will do the same thing to their children, the sheeple out there. And they'll say, hey, you know what? You have to move forward with us. We're not going to allow smartphones to function anymore. We're going to shut them off like we did with 2G, 3G, 4G. There's a reason you can't have a flip phone anymore. There's a reason you don't see Blackberries really anymore, because they made them obsolete by design. They continue to make phones faster, smaller, on your body, wearable tech, and eventually they've told you that they want it in. So while people out there tell me that I'm crazy, that there's no way people are going to go with this, there's no way. They're not going to put something in their body while the person I'm telling it to is wearing an Apple Watch on their wrist that's tracking their heart rate, because these people still continue to go, well, that's not a big deal. It's on my wrist tracking my heart rate, right? And now you're dependent on this. You love looking at this, right? And then they tell you your wearable tech doesn't work anymore. Your smartphone doesn't work anymore, because we have to move forward with the tech. We have to get on 6G now. 5G is dead, like 2G is dead. And now you have to adapt. Or your other option is, you don't have to have the internet anymore. You don't have to have a phone anymore. And these people will act just like those children acted, right? But instead of stabbing their mother, they'll run to their big brother. And they'll run and they'll say, yes, please, please, whatever you say. It's going to be in your body. It's safe. It's no big deal. Look, Kim Kardashian's got it. Britney Spears has got it. Taylor Swift's promoting it. Okay, I'll get it. And just like that, it'll be that simple and that easy to get people to take the mark of the beast. Now, of course, we know that the mark of the beast does not get discussed in 501c3 churches. Neither does the book of Revelation. That's why you never hear about the synagogue of Satan, nor do you hear people talking about the mark of the beast and the way that we're headed with technology. But remember, with the mark of the beast, you will not be able to buy or sell without it. So do you think it's just going to be a credit card that they send you, and if you get it in the mail and you open up your mail and you go, this is the credit card, I can either use it or not, that would be the mark of the beast? No, of course not, because it's not in your hand or your forehead, right? So what would it require? It would require being either marked on your flesh or under your skin. Or how about both? How about editing God's only creation, your genetic code? Editing that. Why edit that? Well, the one thing they want to do is turn people against God. Take God's creation. The one specific thing that God gave all of us is our own genetic code, right? And our own unique gifts. But really, we're all unique via our genetics. And that's why you keep hearing them talking about gene editing and gene modification. They want to modify you, and they don't hide it. How many times have we heard Claus and all these people talk about, well, what's going to change in the future is you, not the technology, you, right? And sure, you might say that's a jump from a story about 3 girls attempting to kill their mother over Wi-Fi. And the majority of people who would report on that story, all they would think about is just, wow, that's crazy. These kids are brats. These kids need to be disciplined. These kids are going to find out the hard way in jail that they're not going to have the internet for a while and they'll have to learn a lesson through hard times, right? Well, guess what? This is a perfect example, and people should be talking about it and looking at it and saying, you know what? Are people too obsessed and dependent on technology? Well, of course, that is very clear, but it's not clear to most people. It's not. They don't think like that. The conservatives don't think like that. The Democrats don't think like that. While they remain divided and arguing over nonsense, everybody is on board with tech, and nobody out in the open talks about the addiction to the internet. How many times have people who've listened to my channel for a long time, how many times have you heard me talk about somebody leaving their home without their phone? And how if they drove an hour away, they would turn around and go get their phone. That's considered normal behavior now. When I say that to people, they're like, yeah, what's the big deal? You know, oh, you left home without your phone. You had to turn around and go get your phone, right? They don't think for 1 second that that's pretty strange, right? That people never used to live like that. They think, well, you got to have your phone. This is a different world. We're advanced now. Or you could look at it from the reality standpoint. You're addicted to it. You can't live without it. And that's how we know that when we move forward here and phones become obsolete, that people are going to be threatened into making a decision. Hey, you know, if the phone is the only way you can buy and sell through the internet, the beast, and you have to have this mark to do it, you can either take the mark or not. But guess what? If you don't take it, you can't access the internet. You can't access AI. You can't get answers anymore. Because guess what? We burned all the books. We've removed the Bible. So if you don't know any trades or how to do anything, you're useless, right? That's what they'll tell you. And that's how people will feel because they've made people useless. They've made people go on their phone for answers. The answer to every question they have. Go on your phone. Google it, right? It's become a new sentence that we hear people say, right? Used to be, hey, do you know how to do this? Well, maybe I'll go to school and learn it. Maybe I'll go to trade school. Maybe I'll go to the library and get a book, find answers in the book. Maybe I'll do some research, right? Well, that's too much work. You don't want to do that. You can just go on the internet. And this whole society trained on getting their answers from the internet. And that's a problem. They think it's not a problem because they say, well, it's faster, it's quicker. I'm getting information as quickly as possible. And then they say stuff like, hey, you know, you can get the how-to answers to this. You don't have to hire someone for that. Everything's on the internet, and all your entertainment is on the internet. I love when people tell me, they go, I don't have a TV anymore. So these things that you're talking to me about, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the TV as if, yeah, you think I'm going up to the television and I'm watching the news on the TV? All of this stuff is available online. In fact, the majority of humans consume their news on the internet. And the majority of shows and series that are watched is on the internet. And the majority of movies actually come out now on the internet, with a few rare exceptions that go to the movie theater first, right? Everything is through the internet. And all dependency has become internet driven. And when you hear people like Bill Gates say, well, humans are going to be useless in a couple years, and Elon Musk say humans are going to be useless in a couple years, what people should be doing is going, I'm sorry, what? We're humans. Who the F are you? Oh, well, we run these tech companies. Well, we don't give a sharp about your tech companies. If you're saying that we're going to be obsolete and the stuff that you're creating could be deadly in the future, and you're trying to get chips inside of people so they can form telekinesis and telepathy, all this, no. This sounds like it's not only dangerous, this sounds like it could affect all of us. It could be a crime against humanity, what you're doing. Well, you know, we're trying to make things easier for doctors, and we're trying to well, doctors got the job done for a long period of time, right? I mean, they clearly don't get it done now, because obviously we all know that they have to read out of that CDC playbook and give you answers directly out of it. If they don't, they lose their practice, right? But when you have Gates and Musk and Zuckerberg and all these guys, they're sitting there telling you the end of humanity is near. They've shown us repeatedly through predictive programming that they are going to wipe out the human race, that eventually when we bring all this tech into our home, right, like smart locks and the Alexa, and then eventually the humanoid robot, well, it's all going to turn on you. So the locks are going to lock you in, right? Your air conditioner, which is smart, is going to shut off because of the climate. And of course, that humanoid robot, well, it's going to sleep with your wife. Congratulations, and probably kill your kids, right? But no, we don't. What do? We just go, nah, it's not going to happen. Nah, that's not going to happen. I'm going to get a humanoid robot. I'll never drive an electric vehicle. That's enslavement. They're going to shut off the vehicle. I'll only be able to go 300 miles, right? Because they can control it and make it automated. Well, wait a minute. All these people, all these Democrats are burning Tesla stations. Well, I'm going to go buy one because I support Elon Musk. I'm going to forget about that with getting enslaved with an electric vehicle, right? And transitioning to EV and how they're trying to tell us not to get gas. And Trump says gas and oil forever, for life. Oh, but I'm buying a Tesla. And everyone out there should buy a Tesla. I mean, how easy it is to warp these people's minds. And they sit there And they act like, oh, I'm not addicted to it. I can live without the internet. No, they can't. And I'm not going to sit here and try and sound like I'm mightier than others. I use the internet, obviously, right? Duh. I'm putting this out to the world. Do I need it? No. Am I dependent on it? No. Would I be like, whoa, if the internet was down for a week? Probably, but I'd survive. But the majority of these people would not. The majority of these people who have no food stored, who have no idea about the actual reality happening around them, they will go unhinged, like these three girls did, on their own flesh, their own mother. That's their own mother. That's not, hey, we were at school, or hey, we were living at boarding school, hey, somewhere that this happened. Even though even that notion is absolute insanity. Their own mother. But the mindset, again, of the people is that this is about, well, the mom took something away. And these three brats wanted to prove a point to mom and say, don't take away her. Like when we were younger, we get grounded for something, right? You did something at school, you told someone off, you got in a fight in the playground, right? All stereotypes. But think about any of those things. Think about any time you were disciplined by your parents, what it was for, right? You went to your room and you were grounded. You never thought about murder. So the mindset of these people is that, people are more unhinged and crazy now. Or is it the fact that, well, if mom took away the keys to their car, you think they would have attempted to kill her? No. The Wi-Fi, their phones, are you kidding me? They completely lost their mind. They were willing to go to jail. And these people will be willing to kill to get their internet back. They will obey whatever Big Brother says. That's going to be the caveat that they dangle in front of everyone when it comes to the mark of the beast and compliance. It's going to be the internet, period. The beast that they all are going to be a part of, the beast system. So when I saw this story, I just needed to do a rant about it. I can't even believe that a story like this is out there, but not, even more so than that, because I guess I can, in a sense, believe a story like that is out there, the response that people have. Because not one person was saying, hey, maybe we should look at this and say, people are so obsessed with the internet, they kill over the internet, right? Because we hear all these crime stories about, well, somebody's wife cheated on them or their husband and the person went and wanted revenge, right? And people accept it. Like, well, there's your motive. The motive is the guy slept, with her best friend or her sister. So she killed him, right? Well, there's a motive right there, right? And people accept that motive. They're like, I guess I see why, but people need to get a grip, just divorce them, just run away, just leave, right? When it comes to this, they're just talking about discipline, and the kids are not going, hey, you know what? This sounds a lot like one of those cases we hear with some guy eating bath salts, right? Remember the stories of the guy with the bath salts was running into people's garages in Florida? Some of the sickest crap ever. Everyone's going, we got to ban bath salts, right? Remember that guy? He was a YouTuber. If you didn't hear about it, you can look it up. He was literally on bath salts walking the streets, and someone's garage was open. He went in and ate them, bit their faces off. The poor family, right? The poor family's gone, not here anymore. And all we heard about is banning bath salts. And I believe, the consumption of bath salts is pretty insane, but you don't hear much about bath salts and people eating it anymore. What you hear about is fentanyl and these other things. I'm sure they're putting the same ingredients in, right? Shouldn't you hear with stories like this that, hey, maybe we should ease back, people with the internet. Maybe we should, have people do things together more, offline. Well, they don't want that, of course. That was a whole part of the pandemic. People got more dependent on the internet. In fact, they forced people into FaceTiming. They forced people into working on their phone, going to school on their phone or whatever, on the internet, on the computer, all away from people, away from human contact. And now, of course, more people want to just be online because they hate one another. Why do they hate one another? Because of the psychosis they've created, right? Telling everybody that their neighbor is racist and their neighbor is this and this person's that. And they just go, I don't want to bother with anymore. I don't want to date anymore. I'd rather just date virtual reality thing or, do that type of stuff, right? This is all done by design, and this all leads to the mark of the beast. And that small story that thankfully the mom isn't killed, but that small story, which didn't make national news, it only made affiliate news, that small story is just a perfect example of this addiction and how easy it'll be to transition people, like I've been saying for years and years and years, while people continue to say there's no way. Oh, they're going to tell you the phone's obsolete by 2030 and it's going in your body. And they don't go, well, what does that mean? I'm not going to have my phone? No, it means it's going to go in you. And they go, oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, okay. So you're going to give up your phone for the rest of your life. You're going to go back to living like Little House on the Prairie. Huh? And then they'll go, well, no. There's got to be something else I could do, right? All right. Well, what you could do is go along with what they say. Cooperate. Get your digital ID, get your mark of the beast, go along with it, or you get none. You don't have the internet anymore. You can't look up stuff anymore. You can't be entertained anymore by your alt-right media or whatever you're listening to. Oh, I guess it's not really the mark of the beast. I'll take it. These people saying it is. No, it's not. They'll say the same thing to themselves that these Trumpers say. He's not one of them. Trump's hugging Klaus Schwab. He's mingling with Obama. He's not one of them. Killing the economy. He's not one of them. Bringing in AI governance. He's not one of them. Getting rid of the penny. He's not one of them. Killing the dollar. He's not one of them, right? You keep telling yourself that. And then eventually just go, well, I want to be a globalist if Trump's a globalist. That's what they'll do. They'll go, I want to be whatever he tells me to be. I want to take the mark because I don't want to live without the internet. And that's how simple it is to brainwash these sheeple. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for listening to me rant. God bless all of you as always and your families.